توانا بود ارکی دانا بود، ز دانش دل پیر برنا بود.
د پوهنې رڼا ده په خپرونه دیر ښه راغلاست. زه مریم اسماعیل ارسلات دا خپرونه تاسو ته د آریانا افغانستان نړیوالې شبکې څخه وړاندې کوم او ایله لرم چې تاسو زیر خود او استفاده ورسیږي. بینندگان عزیز و ارجمند برنامه دانش روشنایی است. با آرزوی صحت و سلامت شما برنامه امروز آغاز میکنیم. امیدوار هستم شاد و صحتمند باشین و هفته خوش و پرثمره را با عزیزانتان سپری کرده باشین و باز هم خوشحال هستم که یک بار دیگر در برابر شما عزیزان قرار دارم و امیدوار هستم که از برنامه امروز هم استفاده خوب به عمل آورده بتانیم. دوستان عزیز و ارجمند، قبل از اینکه به محتویات برنامه امروز بپردازم فقط میخواستم یادآور شم که روز یکشنبه 2 نوامبر ساعت 2 بعد از ظهر کانون فرهنگی جامی باز هم برنامه بسیار خوبه دارن که امیدوار هستم که شما عزیزا بتونین، کسایی که به کالیفرنیای جنوبی زندگی میکنن، بتونن که در این برنامه شرکت کنن. واقعا برنامه فوق‌العاده خوب ادبی است و آموزشی و البته تشویق از شاعران و ادبا و نویسنده ها و یادآوری و البته تقدیر از اوناست و امیدوار هستم که باز هم با سینیر سنتر مشن ویو نامش سینیر سنتر امی لحظات زیادم رفته به ویترانز وی است و هفته آینده انشالله که آدرس مفصل و معلومات مفصل تره به دسترستان میگذارم. ولی خواستم یادآور شم که 2 نوامبر و جنتریتان باز نگاه کنین که برنامه بسیار خوبه و آموزندنی و همچنان تفریحی هم است و از اون حتما که لذت میبرین. و با 9 نوامبر هم یک پروگرام بسیار خوبه از طرف دکتران افغان و که با سرکردگی محترم دکتر آقا عبدالله شیرزای و همسرشان عایشه جان شیرزای و با همکاری انجمن خانمان زنان کالیفرنیای جنوبی البته هست که برای آگاهی از صحت و سلامت چی از نگاه جسمی و چی از نگاه روحی و دماغی که بسیار پروگرام خوب است و در این مورد هم هفته آینده انشالله که صحبت مفصل تر میکنیم. ولی خواستم که براتون آگاهی بدم که 2 هفته را اگر با جنتریایتان باز نگه دارین که هفته بسیار خوبه برای همه می باشه، هفته بسیار خوبه معلوماتی و میتونین که با فامیلایتان با فرزندانتان تا به این 2 محفل شرکت کنین. خب دوستان عزیز ارجمند، در برنامه امروز البته میهمان بسیار خوبی دارم که همکار خوب برنامه است، جوان بسیار موفق، یک اسپیکر بسیار خوب، موتیویشنال اسپیکر موفقی که بارها برنامه از طریق برنامه ما ظاهر شدن و یک موتیویشنال اسپیکر خوبی هستن که به جاهای مختلف میرن سخنرانی میکنن و برای انرژی بخشیدن برای همه، با روشن ساختن افکار همه و برای اینکه مخصوصا بعضی اوقات به یک نقطه به زندگی میرسیم که فکر میکنیم که خود بسیار موفق فکر نمیکنیم، فکر میکنیم زندگی البته فراز و نشیب داره که در نشیبش هیچ وقت نباید مایوس شویم و از فرازش نباید هیچ وقت مغرور شویم و همیشه باید در آلت آموختن باشیم و بعضی اوقات می باشه که مخصوصا در وقت نشیب انرژی ما بعضی اوقات بدون از اینکه کدام عمل باشه یک علت باشه انرژی ما کم میشه و قسم شوق اشتیاق ما کم میشه اما به اندازه که ما باید بکوشیم که در زندگی موفق باشیم اما انرژی ما اجازه نمیده که ما خدا به اصطلاح پوش کنیم و برسانیم به اون نقطه‌ای که میخوایم برسیم. و این جوان بسیار عزیز موفق صحبتایی که میکنه همیشه انرژی با ما میبخشه و همیشه نظریات خوبی دارن، همیشه رازهای خوب، راههای خوبی را به اختیار ما میگذارن که بتونیم که دوباره به اصطلاح به جای خود چارج کنیم و به طرف موفقیت سوق ما رو میده. و البته شما با چهره اسیف جان آژند که جوان موفق است آشناستین و در برنامه امروز آقای آژند در مورد 7 قانون موفقیت، قانون معنوی موفقیت بگوییم صحبت میکنه. البته موفقیت به معنای از این نیست که ما در کار خود بسیار موفق باشیم تا بتونیم پول خوب و دست بیاریم. موفقیت راههای چیزهای مختلف را در بر میگیره. مثلا ما آرزو داریم که صحت خوب داشته باشیم، انرژی داشته باشیم، علاقه و اشتیاق برای زندگی، برای تداوم و ادامه زندگی و با ارتباطات مثبت با عزیزان خود، با اطرافیان خود، ثبات روحی و روانی و جسمی و دماغی و همه اینا داشته باشیم. این کلش همش موفقیت در بر میگیره. و در برنامه امروز آقای آژند راه‌های مختلف را در موردش صحبت میکنن که انشالله بر ما یک انرژی دوباره میبخشن که بتونیم که از هر نگاه موفق باشیم. آقای آژند خوشحال هستم که باز آمدین به برنامه. خوش آمدین.
بسیار تشکر مریم جان، بسیار تشکر. سلامای خود برای همه بینندگان عزیز میرسانم.
خب آقای آژند اگر لطف کنین در قدم اول بگوین که what are the spiritual laws of success که ما البته قسمی که در گذشته هم گفتیم وقتی که جوانان در برنامه ما میآیند با وجود از که آقای آژند بسیار مقبول در این صحبت میکنن اما به خاطر از که به اون مقصد خود قسمی که شاید باید بگوین و همچنان میخوایم که جوانا چون خود آقای آژند دوستای خوبی داره بیننده های جوان رو به برنامه ما میارن و جوانا هم مستفید شون میخوایم که زیادتر به انگلیسی صحبت کنن و جایی که میخواین دری صحبت کنین دری و به جایی که انگلیسی براتون آرامتر است انگلیسی صحبت کنین.
تشکر. Yes, question.
What are the spiritual laws of success?
Okay. Now, I want to thank everyone tuning in, and today we're going to cover a very powerful technique. So, there are multiple layers of success, but today I just wanted to cover the 7 key spiritual laws of success. Now, there's a prominent author, his name is Deepak Chopra. He has written about this extensively. And myself, I'm a mindset expert and motivational trainer. I spent the past several years studying how the mind works and how do we achieve our goals to take ourselves to the next level. And what I've found is that there are eternal laws, okay? There are eternal laws in the universe, and these are God's laws. They come from spirit or in God, and there are multiple layers, and today we're going to go by each and every one of them. And before we do, I really want you to be aware that let's not get bogged down. There's one law. This is not the law of success. This is part of the 7 laws, but it's called the law of familiarity. Now, a lot of times people, you may hear things that I will say that you already know, and that's great. But I don't want you to let that cloud the way you process information, because a lot of times you may say, oh, I already know this information. Oh, don't have that attitude. Remember, repetition is the mother of skill. When you repeat the same thing you've heard over and over, then it starts becoming part of your soul. Then you're able to apply it better. Okay? They say that there's a saying, my mentor told me, he said that we know what to do, but we don't do what we know. Right? We know we have common sense. We're all intelligent human beings. We know what's the right course of action, but we don't do it. So when we hear something we've heard over again, have an open mind to it. Just take it in and say, it's okay. Yeah, I've heard it again, because we're forgetful human beings. So knowledge must be mastered, and the way it's mastered is that we repeat it over and over again. And today we're going to cover many of the layers of success. We're going to talk about how the mind works, visualization, detachment. How do you take your life to the next level and be fulfilled? And it's not just, as Mariam Jan said, about attaining just the superficial levels of success, just money, a house, material wealth. That's part of success, but that's not the whole of success.
خب البته آقای جان معقول صحبت کردن که قسمی که مثلا اینا میگن درست است که بعضی چیزا رو ما میفهمیم، مثلا گفتن لا فامیلیاریتی که ما باش آشنایی داریم، فکر میکنیم که پس چرا گوش بدیم. موضوعات است که ما همه میدونیم، آشناستیم، یک چیز تکرار است بر ما، ولی هرقدر یک چیز رو دوباره و دوباره بشنویم و با او آشنایی زیادتر پیدا کنیم، معلومات ما زیادتر میشه و دوباره امو چیز برای خاطر ما میایه. یک چیزی رو میفهمیدیم ولی در عقب گذاشته بودیم ولی هیچ وقت با او عمل نمی کردیم، اما وقتی که دوباره و دوباره میشنویم عمل هم میکنیم. قسمی که بسیار مقبول گفتن آقای جان we know what to do but we don't do what we know. ما میفهمیم که چی میکنیم و we don't know
عملش نمی
و عمل بله ولی عملش نمی کنیم، عملی نمی کنیم اون کاره که یک چیز بسیار مهم است و این چیزا را باید که متوجه باشیم. و اینال آقای آشند اگر بگوین که what is the law of pure potentiality.
Okay, so as I said, so we're going to cover the 7 layers. Now the first layer is the law of pure potentiality. This is very essential. This means that us as human beings, we must be aware that we have infinite potential. Meaning infinite, we have great potential power to achieve great things in our lives. We must not be bogged down by the limiting beliefs we hold ourselves. A lot of times, we have negative beliefs that come our way that hinder us from the path of progress. But we always have to be mindful that whatever seed we plant in our desires, if we believe in that and we persist in that image, the potential will flourish. That means we have a potential, just like a seed, a flower, a seed. It germinates, it becomes a flower. That means that's the actual, okay? Right now, you're in a state of actuality, but you have to know that there is also a potential state of evolution, okay? So one thing, that's what I wanted to point out, is we have the law of potentiality. And with this law, knowing that we have the ability to achieve great things, we have great potential, there's 2 components I wanted to add. There's 2 ways of living many people live. Do you either have, and this is the question I want you to ask yourself, do you either live in an external focus, or they say external locus of control, or do you have an internal locus of control? What does this mean? So internal or external locus of control. If you live in a world, and this is all related to your thoughts, your thought process, if you have an external way of looking at the world, that means you tell yourself that everything that's going on in my current life is because of other people. I'm not happy because 5 years ago my friend did this to me. My parents did this to me. My boss said this to me. I'm this way with my body, my physical health, because of my work. You're blaming. The point is, it's called victim consciousness. It's the lowest level of consciousness. And the point is that you blame everything around you. And let me tell you something, folks. That means when you are pointing the finger at somebody else, look, I'm pointing the finger at somebody else. How many fingers are pointing back at me? Right? There's 3 fingers pointing back at me. A lot of times, be aware that when you're blaming someone for your current life situation, it's not their fault. You've allowed those situations to affect you. Okay? So that's an external locus of control. It's the lowest level of conscious activity. You always want to steer away from this. If you feel yourself in your life blaming something or blaming others for your own personal problems, you need to stop this. And we're going to talk about how do you cancel those and reprogram your brain. Okay, so now I talked about external locus of control, and it's so unfortunate. Many people have this way of thinking. And especially in America and United States, with all this prosperity, freedom, good economy, right, infrastructure, the use of antidepressants has gone up tenfold. And I don't think it's bad. Taking antidepressants, it's fine. I'm not against this. I have a friend that has mental illness. He's a mental health advocate, and he talks about his experiences. So taking medication in conjunction to positive therapy it's excellent. But I'm talking about there are cases where antidepressants, doctors easily prescribe antidepressants when it's not necessary. The person just goes, oh, I feel bad. The doctor prescribes them antidepressants. Now, there's a big debate in the medical community. I'm not going to get into a debate, but there's challenges. They're saying that doctors give these antidepressants out very frequently before going through proper mind or therapy treatment. So, folks, going to therapy is not a bad thing. I go to therapy on myself every day. It's not a bad thing. It's just controlling your thoughts, using proper techniques to get yourself to a positive framework, okay? So that's why I bring these things up. When we have an external locus of control and we dwell on everything around us affecting our life and we blame others, we complain, we criticize other people, that is not a path of progress, folks. Now, this leads me to internal locus of control. In order to be successful, in order to be happy, in order to be fulfilled. Folks, we're going to go through ups and downs in life, but just because we go through downs, it's not an excuse. We can figure out ways to make our life better and to learn from our difficulties. A wise person told me, I think his name was Napoleon Hill, he said that through every difficulty, there is a seed of equal or greater benefit. And all religions talk about this. Through every difficulty, there is a lot of blessings and good meaning if you interpret it that way. Okay? So we must have an internal locus of control. Means that everything that's going on in my outside circumstances, it's all because of who? Because of you. Because of me. The current state of my relationships, my success, my career, my health, all my current circumstances is because of me. I've chosen my own fate. This means that you take extreme personal responsibility for your life. Now, don't get me wrong, folks. There are things that are outside of your control. Okay? If the weather, if it's raining, you get in a car accident, or you may go to work late. There's things outside of your control, but most things, folks, I would say, more than 80% of things are within your control. Okay? And that begins by the level of thinking. So I want you to be mindful. You have internal locus of control and external locus of control. Once you realize you have an internal locus of control, keyword, meaning that you have control over your outside circumstances, then that makes you aware that I do have potential. Because I'm in control, I have infinite potential. I can achieve great things, right? What the mind can believe and conceive, it can achieve. And that's why the mind is a powerful tool, folks. 80% of your results and your success in life is because there is psychology, and 20% is because of mechanics. Okay? 80% is due to your psychology. And once you have the proper psychology, they don't teach this enough in schools. They don't teach us enough in colleges and universities about success, about how the mind works. Yeah, there's some psychology classes which are great. I love it. But it's not emphasized. Let's say there's a class in our elementary or grade school level talking about how the mind works, how do you become successful. I can guarantee that grades will improve, happiness of the students will improve, well-being will improve. So that's my mission in life, to help educate and inspire and empower others to take charge of their life. So that's the law of potentiality, meaning that you have potential in your life to reach great things. And one thing I want to add, I know we have the next question, but one thing I want to add is that, so what's the practical steps to make your potential aware? First, you have to know that you have an internal locus of control in your life, meaning that you have personal responsibility. Everything that's going on around you is because of yourself. So even if you're feeling negative, it's not a bad thing. You have to, having depressive thoughts, look, human beings go up and down. It's not a bad thing, but you have to use it in the right way. Don't dwell on the depression. So if you have a depressive thought, reflect, sit, meditate. Meditation is big. I'm going to talk about this. Why am I having these thoughts? Ask yourself key questions. What's making me feel this way? How can I change? The questions you ask yourself are going to have a big effect in your success and your results. So negative emotions are not always a bad thing. You can learn from those negative emotions. But after you've learned from them, don't think about them anymore. Ask those key questions. Why am I feeling this way? How can I change? So the what and the how. And then you get to have yourself in the more path of progress. And another thing, so now this is what we need to do to experience potentiality. Meditation, folks. Most people recommend, and especially Deepak Chopra is an expert in the field of meditation, he recommends meditating 30 minutes a day in the morning, 30 minutes at night. And now I'm going through this journey. I'm not perfect at this. Your life is dictated by your routine. So make sure we all have to make this practice, including myself. I've increased my level and I've seen results. But being silent, all the great religious teachers, all the great philosophers, they've all spent time meditating in silence. Out of this chaotic world, going to a quiet place and just relaxing, closing your eyes, deep breathing in and out. Not the whole time, but just breathing. Just be silent. Don't focus on negative. Clear your mind. It's going to be difficult to do in the beginning. But after you practice slowly, and if you don't do it perfect the first time, don't get angry. It's okay. Start practicing. Start with 10 minutes. Try to sit still for 10 minutes and be silent. Think of God. Think of your goals. Just be in a state of peace. And that's when your mind is in a state of calmness. Creative thoughts will come to your brain. You will be inspired. Then you will be much aware of your potential. So the first key to activating your potential is being in a state of calmness and silence through meditation. And as we go through the next questions, we're going to talk about this. I'll talk about this more in detail.
Okay, before I translate, I have to ask you a question. The external locus of control, does that come from the outside sources, or is it within us too, or is it our own mind creates it, or our own mind creates it based on the outside sources?
Great question, Mariam John. So you've hit it right on the point. Yes, if you have an external mentality or locus of control, you've created that in your mind. That means it's how you interpret the world. Do you interpret the world that I'm in control, or do you interpret the world with your own mind that everything that's going on around me is because of that person, you're pointing the finger. That's all a mind state.
خب دوست عزیز فشرده ترجمه صحبت آقای آژنده کنم. What's the law of pure potentiality? Potentiality یعنی قدرت و توانایی. یک چیزی که ما قادر به هر چیز هستیم، تواناییش داریم در خود که بتونیم یک کار انجام بدیم، ولی فقط به عمل باید دست بزنیم. و دو چیزی را که گفتن، دو چیزی که باعث البته خود در بر میگیره، یکی external یا internal که از قدرت و کنترل خارجی، و داخلی است که از داخل میتونیم همه چیز را کنترل داشته باشیم. با تمام چیزایی که به اطراف ما هست در زندگی ما صورت میگیره، سر از اون ما کنترل داریم. ولی بعضی اوقات ما ناتوانی‌های خود به خاطری که ما خود ما قدرت عمل به خود نمیبینیم و عمل به خرج نمیدیم، همیشه البته اطراف خود همیشه مقصر میدانیم، فکر میکنیم که یک کاری که ما نکردیم یک کس دیگه مانع شده، یک شخص دیگه، یک چیز تاثیرات محیطی، چی از هر نگاهی که باشه، یعنی یک دلیل برش پیدا میکنیم که اینی چیز باعث است که ما نمیتونیم موفق باشیم، در حالی که مربوط خود ماست. کنترل و اراده خود ماست که اگر ما خواسته باشیم میتونیم که سر از اون نقطه کار کنیم و یعنی الفصل بسازیم با خود و ما چیزی که آرزو داریم به دست خود بیاریم. هیچ وقت عوامل خارجی را اجازه ندیم که باعث پیشرفت ما شود، به خاطر ما قادر به هستیم، پتانسیلش داریم، قدرتش داریم که یک کاری را که بخوایم به عمل برسانیم و انجام بدیم. نباید که به اصطلاح بهانه طلبی و یا مثل که بلیم گیم میگیم که یک کس دیگر ما مثلا متهم بدانیم، بگیم که گناه یک کس دیگه است که باعث پسمانی ما شد و این کار من نتونستم به خاطر که یک کسی یک گپ زد، یک چیز گفت و با نگاه یک نفر می به قسم ترجمه میکنیم که قسم طرف دید و نگاه منفی بود و خود ما بانجویی و بانطلبی میکنیم و با خودت ما قدرت از این داریم که مورد پس به شکل مثبت در بیاریم به خاطر که قادر به این هستیم که یک کار ما انجام بدیم و قسمی که آقای آشند گفتن که وقتی یک کار اگر نمیتونیم پس سوال کنیم که چی باعث شد، چرا من این کار کردن نمیتونم، نگذاریم که ما را رنج بده. ولی قسمی که آقای آشان گفتن اگر یک چیزی ما رو ناراحت میسازه مدیتیت کنیم با یک جای آرام که سر و صدا نباشه و آرام بنشیم، تنفس عمیق بگیریم و افکار خدا آرام بسازیم، به خداوند فکر کنیم و به موفقیت فکر کنیم، چطور به خداوند خدا بسپاریم که ما را قدرت و توانایی زیر بده که ما به مو جایی که میخوایم برسانیم خدا از هر مشکلی که داشته باشیم و مشکل خدا نگذاریم که بالای دیگران پرتیم و یک کسی دیگر مقصر بدانیم، بلکه فکر کنیم که چرا ما این مشکل داریم، چطور میتونیم که از این مشکل خود خارج بسازیم و دور بسازیم، چطور میتونیم که موفقیت را آرزو داریم به دست بیاریم. Okay, very good. سوال دیگه است که what is the law of giving?
Oh, great. So we talked about the first law, okay? The law of potentiality, okay? So that's the first law of success. And now we go to the law of giving. And one thing I wanted to add, just on a side note to Mariam John's point, is that with the law of potentiality, even in the way religious, even within religion, how you pray, that is a form of meditation. So you see that how meditation is such an essential part to spirituality and through success as well. So just wanted to add that point. Okay, so you have the law of potentiality. Now, in order to fulfill your potential, you must implement the law of giving. Some people say, well, you must ask and then you'll receive. Okay, but even better than that, give and you will receive. This is the way all of life works, all of success works, right? You must give something before you receive something in return. Even when it comes to your work or your job, right? You're giving a service and you're getting paid in return in exchange for your service. Whether you're a teacher, whether you're a lawyer, engineer, IT person, it doesn't matter what your career, what your field is. When you give, you will receive. You always have to think. Many people think, what's in it for me? What should I get for me? It's the selfishness. This is called the ego. EGO. You know what the acronym EGO stands for? Edging God out. What is the ego? We all have egos, but it's up to us to tame our ego. An ego, our egos want to be liked by everyone. Our egos really care about the superficial things in life to the extreme. Like if I don't have this, I'm a loser. If I don't have this house, I'm not a good person. I'm not as worthy. If this person doesn't like me, well then, I'm not a likable person, or it can go the other way. Oh, this person's not good. You blame that person for not liking you. Oh, well, she's this way or he's this way. That's all the ego taught. That's the ego speaking to you. That's your ego. When you're spiritual, and all the religions talk about this, and a lot of philosophy talks about this, we want to transcend, go above the ego. People are hostile towards us. It's okay. We're willing to talk it out if we can. It doesn't affect me emotionally. I go to some event, some party, someone is rude to me. I don't let it affect me emotionally, okay? So be careful about the ego. And it can be very destructive when your whole focus in your life is ego. You're searching for happiness. You think that once I get this, once I have this in my life, once I have this, I'll be happy. No. Happiness starts, and we're going to talk about this more in detail. Happiness starts in the present moment. So you must focus on the present. All right? When we're talking about, in order to receive what you want, the abundance that you want, is to give. If you want to receive love and you're not receiving love, this is the question I'm going to ask you. Are you giving love? Love in the sense of respect, You know, if people are rude to you, how do you come across? Right? This is more on the personal level, because people around you, they're mirror images of your own thoughts and feelings, right? So if you want to give, don't always expect, oh, even this is maybe a personal relationships with friends, with a spouse, right? Oh, this person's not loving me. This person's not loving me. Well, are you giving love? Give. Give and you shall receive. Don't try to take all the time, folks. Find a way. How can I give value? This is a higher level of consciousness. Look, folks, we are all made of energy. We're all made of atoms. And did you know that within the past 30 or 40 years, we've discovered that atoms are units of energy, folks. And do you know where energy comes from? Consciousness. So your thoughts are a form of energy, right? So the thoughts, so what you think and you feel, and then from that you give to yourself. You're providing energy. So when you want love, give love. Show respect for other people, right? Give love to other people, right? If you haven't called a relative for a while, call that person and say, hey, I appreciate you so much for being in my life, for supporting me, right? You want to give love, and then in return, what's going to happen? You will receive that love in return, right? If you want to make more money, right? Give to charity. Teach if you know how to make money, teach people how to make more money. Or you can go work. When you're working, you're providing a value, a service. You have to think about this. How can I provide value to the world? That's the law of giving and receiving, right? If I'm a business owner, right, and I have a big company, I'm giving, and that person is making millions of dollars. You know why he's making millions of dollars? It's not because he's greedy. It's because he's giving a valuable service that people want and need. Okay, let's say you have a car business, right? It's big. And every month, hundreds of thousands of people are buying cars from you. Well, great. You're providing value to that person. You're giving them, your company is giving them a car. They're happy. Also, you're providing jobs for all your employees. So that means you're providing value. Not only you're helping your customers, you're providing a living for if you have employees. And from that living you're giving, they're able to support themselves. So that's why that person, whoever the business owner is receiving much more money. It's not because he's greedy, it's because he is giving value. And the more value you give, the more you will receive. That's called affluence. The word affluence, right? That means, the root word is affluere, which means to flow. That means to live in abundance. Affluence means not just making a lot of money, being successful in economics. No, it means living in abundance, having all my needs met. But in order to first live in abundance, we can't just take, expect this person from me, or expect that person to give me. No, we must give. And so when you're talking to somebody, and it doesn't mean that you have to give a gift, right? There's many forms of giving, ladies and gentlemen. When you're going to someone's house for the first time, maybe you can give a gift. If you can't afford a large gift, maybe you can give a flower. Maybe you can give a compliment. Thank you is a form. We talked about gratitude. Thanksgiving's coming up, right? Just being grateful, thanking that person is a form of giving. Praying for that person, you're giving something to them. And all your interactions from here on out, this changed the way I look at the world. So in every interaction, I try to find a way. I'm not here to brag about myself, just in general. I'm just sharing you my own experience, not to brag, just to share what the benefits I've received. So maybe if you apply the same thing, you will receive those benefits. But I try to find the way, how can I give value when I'm having a conversation? What things can I point out? For example, I had a conversation with someone and he needed help. We were talking and he was talking to me about a good way to make a website for his business. And I said, hey, I know that and I knew how to make a good website. I said, hey, if you go here, you post this here. I was giving something to him, knowledge. That's a form of giving. What Mariam John and I are doing right now with this show, this is a form of giving to whoever the viewers are. This is, okay, so we must always try to give. Whatever it is that you want, let's say you're lacking in any area of your life, from your health, to love in your life, to wealth in your life. Ask yourself, am I giving? Am I giving the right nutrients to my body to be healthy? Am I giving my body rest? Right? When you give, then you'll receive. If I give it rest, what will I receive? Energy. So this applies to all areas of your life. So now, from here on out, when the show's over, really look at the world. Take time to find ways, how can I compliment somebody? How can I compliment my wife, my kids, my family members, my friends, my coworkers? What are ways I can give to them? It doesn't always have to be money. It doesn't have to be gifts. Like I said, you can thank them, give them a compliment. There's so many ways of giving, but please live your life by this model. So there's an art of giving, and in addition to that, one last thing I wanted to add is receiving. Again, the flow of life, giving and receiving, because when you give, that's how you live in abundance. Let's let go of the ego, transcend the ego. The ego is focused on what? Me. No. How can I change the world? How can I bring value to the world? If I create something, how is this going to change someone's life? When people that are big thinkers that have changed the world, they think large, on a large scale. They don't just focus on themselves selfishly. Oh, let me apply for this job because I'm going to make this much. Again, that's not the right approach. You're focused on yourself. Let me do this job because this is what I like doing and I know I can change the world when I do this. Change the paradigm, the mindset about giving. And at the same time, there's also the art of receiving. You must allow things to come to you. The wealth that you want, the health that you want, relationships that you want. Allow things to come to you. When people do nice things, sometimes I know out of common courtesy and respect, someone pays for us for a meal or something. We say, no, it's okay. Maybe sometimes it's okay to do that, but it's okay. Allow receiving to come through. Because you don't want to prevent other people from applying the gift of giving. So don't always, when you're receiving things, don't always deny it. Say, oh, no, I don't need this. It's okay, I don't need this. Don't just throw things out. Allow it to come and be happy.
Right, because it makes the other person feel happy, right?
Perfect. You're giving, the other person feels good about themselves, that they were able to give. And at the highest step, when you give, you'll receive. But also, one thing I wanted to add is that give just for the sake of giving. Don't expect anything in return. And just know, when I give, good things will come to me. But don't say, oh, here's my friend. I gave him this. Then a week later, you think about it. Oh, he didn't give anything back to me. Oh, what happened, right? Who in there has been there, right? So that's not the right way. Giving, the reason I'm saying giving and receiving is when you just have this natural spontaneity of just giving, just know that good things will come. It doesn't matter if it comes from that person. It may come from someone else. Don't give with the expectation of having something in return. What is that, folks? That is the ego. What does ego mean? Edging God out. That's not being spiritual, okay? So you want to allow for receiving as well. There's an art to receiving. Please celebrate your victories. When you have a blessing happen into your life, be grateful. If you have enough, and to anyone I'm talking to or to anyone that's listening, if you have enough money to pay your bills every month, don't say, oh, why am I paying my bills? Oh, man, they charged me this much. No, be grateful. Say, thank you, God, that whatever work or business I have, they've given me money because I've given my value and I can pay my bills. I have the ability to pay my bills each month. That is a different outlook in life, right? And then what do? You pay the bills, and then what do you receive? You receive. See, you notice the cycle, giving and receiving in all areas of your life, I can mention. For the way your body works, right? When you give it good food, your body will become better, right? When you give love to someone, that person will return it. Or you give love, people will want to gravitate towards you. When you when you're able to pay your bills, what will you receive? Phone service, electricity. It's not that you're just giving. Don't think of it me. Think, when I give, that's how the world functions. So please, from here on out, always be mindful of how can I bring value to the world? What is my gift? We're going to talk about your purpose in life. There's a lot of purpose, but what is my gift to this world? How can I share it to as many people as I can? That is how you change the world. That is how a country can become prosperous or a country not so prosperous. What are you focused on?
خب یکی از راه سومی که یکی از قانون رازهای موفقیت و راههای موفقیت است که ما مثلا خود ما باید همیشه توقع نداشته باشیم giving باشیم، عرضه کرده بتونیم. خود ما هم وقتی که یک چیزی توقع داریم که برای ما شوه، اول ما باید عرضه کنیم. مثلا اگر بخوایم که یک کسی ما را دوست داشته باشه، باید خود ما اول محبت کنیم که اونا دوباره ما را دوست داشته باشن، دوباره از اونا محبت ببینیم. اگر بخوایم که صحت ما خوب باشه، ما خود ما باید اول به خود برسیم. از چیز نگاه خوراک باشه، چیز نگاه اکسرسایز باشه، چیز نگاه استراحت و تفریح باشه، خود ما اول ما باید یک کاری کنیم که دوباره به ما با مقابلش یک چیزی بیایه. و همیشه باید کوشش کنیم که یک چیزی که اگر میخوایم که به دست بیاریم که موفق باشیم، اول خود ما باید یک کاری کنیم. ما خود ما به اصطلاح عرضه کنیم یک چیز، خود ما یک چیز داشته باشیم که در دوباره برای ما با مقابلش امو یک چیزی که میخوایم برسه. یا ای که مثلا برای عمل یک عکس العمل است، ما باید که خود ما اول عمل خود نشان بدیم که امو عکس العمل را که توقع داریم برای ما دوباره واقع شو ببینیم. مثلا بسیار مثالای خوب آقای آژن دادن. امیدوار هستم که کسایی که انگلیسی صحبت میکنن به خاطرتان یادداشت کنین که همیشه ما فکر میکنیم که ما هر کار میکنیم و بر ما این چیز نمیرسه. قسمی که آقای آژن گفتن بهترین راهش است که ما وقتی به یک کار خوب و نیک میکنیم، باید که در خود ما توقع نداشته باشیم بس در مقابل ما باید یک کس همون کار کنه. اونمون خودش یک قناعت خوب است و یک برای ما بسیار احساس خوبتر میبخشه که اگر یک کار بدون توقع ما انجام بدیم و همچنان به دیگران اجازه بدیم که اونا ما تنها خود ما مثلا همیشه عرضه نکنیم، همیشه یک کار خوب مقابل دیگران نکنیم. باید دیگران هم اجازه بدیم که اونا اگر آرزو داشته باشن که یک کار مثبت خوبی بر ما انجام میتن، هر کس باید اجازه داشته باشه و برای هر کس زمینه را مساعد بسازیم که اونا هم امو خوشی و آرامش و قناعت بر از اونا هم حاصل شوه. و باید به اصطلاح ایگو نداشته باشیم که همیشه فکر کنیم که خود فکر کنیم، به دیگران هم باید فکر کنیم اگر بخوایم که موفق باشیم. خب آقای آژن، I don't want to lose my questions. The iPad, when you touch it, you know what happens. What's the law of cause and effect?
Okay. Law of cause and effect. So, let me recap. I'm not going to okay, so we have the law of potentiality, meaning that you have potential in your life. By you having an internal locus of control, you can achieve great things. And then how do you achieve your potential? By giving. Give love, give value. How are you going to provide value to those around you? You really have to be mindful. How does my behavior, this even comes to your attitude. How does my attitude affect how others see me? That means you're not giving pleasant attitude towards other people. So what am I giving? So always remember how, and then if you're not good at this, just practice. How can I give? I'm going to work tomorrow. I'm going to see my family. How can I give value to the family or to my workplace? So we know that. So you have the potential, and you have the internal locus of control, and the way you exercise your potential is through giving. And now the third law is law of cause and effect. This kind of, and all of these principles, spiritual laws that I'm talking to you about all relate with one another. So when you apply them, all these are like in a circle formation. Now, law of cause and effect means that you're at the cause. This is basic. You reap what you sow. So your thoughts, your feelings, your actions, your results, the results that you have in your life are because of you've caused them. How did you cause them? By your thoughts. Remember this formula, folks. A man by the name of, I learned this from a man named T. Harv Eker. He said that your thoughts lead to your feelings. Okay? So remember, TF, if you're writing something down, just remember TFAR. So your thoughts lead to your feelings. Your feelings lead to your actions. Your actions lead to your results. A lot of times we focus on, oh, this person has bad habits, very bad habits. Let's change the habits. Or if you're a parent, you may say, stop doing that. Stop doing that. You're not really addressing the source of the problem, which are his habitual thought process. You're just addressing the behavior. Let's say someone has an addictive problem. Let's say someone has a gambling problem. Okay? And that's led to him, right? He's caused that through his own thoughts, law of cause and effect. And now, as a result, he's lost his money. His wife has divorced him. This is a real case example, right? Maybe his wife divorced him, his family left him, he has no money. Why? Because of his thoughts, his feelings, his actions, and his results all relate to gambling. What does that mean? So he had the thought, I need to go to the casino every day. I need to go to the casino. I think I can make money. I think I can make money. See, it started from the thoughts, right? The thoughts, you know what a belief is? The thoughts you think about on a repetitive basis become your belief. So when we talk about cause and effect, the first cause is you, but where does it begin? With your thoughts and your thinking. So, if you had this belief that, oh, I love gambling, and you find pleasure from it, right? Oh, this is fun. I love it. I love it. How is that going to make you feel? You're going to feel good. I want to go. I want to go. And when you feel, what are you going to do? It's going to lead to your action. Okay, I'm going to go to my car, and then I'm going to drive to the casino. And then what are you going to do? You may do excessive gambling and lose all your money. And then what's your end result? Oh. So be mindful about your thoughts, folks. And two things I want to add. When you want to change a habit, right? When you want to change the effects in your life, there's two components, pain and pleasure. So the reason why we do things and we don't do things is because we either associate, it's called our neuro associations or mental associations. See, God has given us a powerful mind. If we don't know how it works, then we're not tapping into our potential. The scientists say that we use about 3 to 10% of our brain's potential. Why? Because we don't know how it works. See, I have this phone, right? This smartphone. Many of us have this smartphone, and it's very effective and efficient, and it makes our life easier. We can do text messaging, email. But if I didn't know how this works, this is useless. Same thing with our brain. Our brain is such a powerful mechanism, and we are all made out of energy. Remember, atoms are made out of energy. Remember, energy is made out of consciousness. Scientists have discovered that your thoughts are not just floating in the air, they disappear. They are a frequency. And when you focus on a thought long enough, it becomes real, whether it's good or bad. If you tell yourself, I'm not happy, I'm not successful, I hate life, you're going to attract that to you even more, because what you focus on the longest becomes the strongest. And this is where the cause, right? If you think positive thoughts, so you're starting from a good causal point from your thoughts, then your effects will be more positive. See, so remember that your thoughts, we're all made out of energy, and your energy is created by consciousness. Everything you see around you, from the television you're looking at, from your computer, from the couch that you're sitting on, from the food that you're eating, what did it form with? An idea. The car that you drive, where did it begin? Thought. Then the thought created the matter. The matter was out there, and then the thought put form into that idea. See? So our consciousness shapes our environment, right? And this is even evidence, scientific evidence to show that there's a God, there's a higher power, because the earth, supreme consciousness, created the earth, which is God, right? Because consciousness creates form. So the creator, right? We believe God is the creator. So the consciousness, he brought the creation to life. And we're part of the creation. We're made out of energy, right? We're human beings. Scientists have proven we're made of energy. So we also have the ability to create what we want in our life, because we're conscious co-creators. And that's related to the law of cause and effect, which form from the thoughts you think about. Okay? Now back to what I wanted to add is just the last thing on this is the pain and pleasure. Okay? So let's say habits that you have. You want to change I'll give you an example. Okay, there's a motivational speaker. His name is Tony Robbins. His dad was an alcoholic, and when he was 14, he was sharing a story that I saw beer in my father's fridge. He opened up the refrigerator and he saw alcohol there, and he told his mom, "Hey, Mom, I want to have that." His mom looked at him and said, "Oh, Tony." So you know what his mom did? He's like, "Okay, Mom, come to the kitchen, Tony." Bought him a whole case of beer, put it on the kitchen. She said, "You drink the whole thing." He drank the whole thing. You know what happened afterwards? He started throwing up and he became sick. And he said from that day forward, now he's 56 years old, he said, "I have not touched alcohol." Why? Why? Because he associated pain to that activity. So let's say this goes for bad habits. Any bad habit that you have in your life, what you want to do is you want to associate pain to that. Okay? If you're doing anything bad, find a way to associate pain. Any habit, gambling maybe. Find a way to associate how gambling is painful. Trick your brain. Okay? And at the same time, if there's something that you should be doing, let's say going to the gym, but you find that painful, right? Because we don't do things that are painful. We don't take action on things that are painful to us. So let's say we say to ourselves, okay, I know I should do this or go to the gym, but oh, it's too hard. It's so painful. Well, trick your brain. No, it's pleasurable. You must manufacture the passion and the pleasure. We're a conscious co-creator of our reality. We can manufacture the pleasure. So change your thought process, okay? And meditate. Oh, I enjoy going to the gym. Why? Because it makes me healthier. I have more energy with my family. I have more vitality at work, right? You want to trick your brain. So whatever habits you want to develop, associate pleasure. Whichever habits that you want to stop that are bad, associate pain to those habits. So remember, pain and pleasure. You are the cause of your current reality, okay? It's not so much that you have to see it to believe it. It's that when you believe it in your mind, you will see it out there. Okay, so thank you.
بسیار خوب. دوست عزیز، معذرت میخوام کسی که تلفن کردن نتونستم لاینتون بگیرم. اگر خواسته باشین حالا میتونین تلفن کنین. به خاطر صحبت های آقای آژند نمیخواستم قطع کنم. آقای آژند البته با وجود که سوالات تمام نشده، فکر میکنم که شو هم باید دو قسمت پارت 1 و پارت 2 باشه. به خاطر که وقت برنامه بسیار کم مونده و شاید دوست عزیز که بلای بیشتر زنگ زده بودن اگر زنگ بزنن میخوام یک دو لاین بگیرم. ولی تا که لاینای تلفن میای میخوایم که فشرده می صحبتتان بگویم که کاز و افکت. البته کاز قسمی که ما شما ترجمه کنیم علت و افکت هم نتیجه و اثر است، ولی نتیجه ترجمه بهترش به برزی که مفهوم خوب در داشته باشه عمل و عکس العمل است که هر کاری که میکنیم هر عمل ما یک عکس العمل می داشته باشه. مثلا که باید خودمون متوجه باشیم وقتی که یک کار میکنیم و عاقبتش فکر کنیم. اگر میخوایم که موفق باشیم، که اگر ما یک چیز را بخوایم یک کار را انجام بدیم، باید فکر کنیم که عکس العمل چی می باشه، نتیجهش چی می باشه و باز بعد از اون ما با اون کار ادامه بدیم و کوشش کنیم که اعمال بد را که اصلا اگر با فکر ما باشه که بگویم که ناخودآگاه فکر کنیم که شاید این کار انجام بدیم و وقتی که ما سر حاکمیت اگه به خود نداشته باشیم که خود جلوگیری از اون کار کنیم، بهتر است که اونمو کار با یک مثلا پین گفتن که مثلا به بد هابت مثل اینکه یک عادت خرابه با یک چیز به درد و با یک نارامی ارتباط بدیم که فکر کنیم که نمی یک درد و نارامی میاره. اونمو را قسمه که مثال خوب را دادن که یک پسر که میخواست که بیر از یخچال بگیره و مادرش تمام کیسه بیر برش داد که پسر وقتی همه او را نوشید بسیار مریض و دلبد شد و بعد از او اصلا به الکل دست نبرد، به خاطر که همیشه اونمو درد و نارامی و ناراحتی به پیش چشمش می آمد و اما تو که اگر ما خواسته باشیم که یک عمل بد انجام بدیم، عکس العمل بسیار بدش فکر کنیم، او را ارتباط بدیم به یک عکس العمل بسیار خراب و منفی، که اونمو باعث از این شود که ما از او کار منفی و نادرست اجتناب کنیم. و همچنان که یک کار مثبت اگر میخوایم انجام بدیم که دشوار می باشه و برای ما مشکل است که او را انجام بدیم، کوشش کنیم که او را ارتباط بدیم به یک نتیجه بسیار مثبت خوبش. مثلا قسمی گفتن که اگر ما بخوایم که بریم جیم اکسرسایز کنیم، برای که ولی بر ما سخت می باشه، راستی فکر میکنین امیر آقای آشن ما خودم تجربه کردیم، بسیاری وقتا بسیار مشکل است به سر تریدمیل میگین که خب قرار آدم خسته میشه، فکر میکنه که 20 دقیقه میدوین، آخر چند کالری کم کردین، 120 کالری 150 کالری، ولی یک چیزی که جنگ بسیار یک بایت دونت امو کالری داره نی؟ این حال شما وقتی که متوجه بشین که اگر خو خیر اسمک 20 دقیقه دیگه اگه بدوم چقدر صحت ما خوب میشه، چقدر اندام ما خوب میشه، همو لباس دلخواهیم به جانم برابر میشه، راستی با یک چیز مثبت اون شما ارتباط بتین، پس دوباره انرژی پیدا میکنین، میتونین که همو کار انجام بدین. و یا مثلا برای که ما پیشرفت کنیم در کار زندگی خود، اینمی بسیار یک گپ خوب است که خودم متوجه ساختین که من بسیاری وقت با کارهای خود پسمان میموشم، ولی خواب خدا بسیار خوش دارم، باید من 8 ساعت خواب کنم. اما حالا فکر کنیم خب خیر است 1 ساعت خواب کمتر میکنم، ما اینمی ما با خود قبولاندیم که 1 ساعت وقتتر بیدار میشم، ولی امو ناراحتی و سخت است از خواب شیرین بیدار شوم. چقدر من فکر من آرام می باشه، حساب ما آرام می باشه که تمام کارهای من انجام میشه و راستی نتیجه شدیدیم که این بسیار یک مثالای خوب شما گفتین و ما خودم در زندگی روزمره خود تجربه کردیم که عموما اگر اعمال خوب و کارهای خوب هرقدر دشوار باشه برای ما سخت باشه، کوشش کنیم که سرانجام و نتیجه خوبش پیش خود مجسم بسازیم و ببینیم که با کار نتیجه خوب او را ارتباط بدیم، اما قدرت و توانایی را به خود پیدا میکنیم که ما کار انجام بدیم. و کار بعدی که هرقدر خوشایند هم باشه، اگر ما دیگه قسم نتونیم که خدا از او کار جلوگیری کنیم، قسمی که آقای آشن گفتن، اما عاقبت منفیش بسنجیم و با یک عاقبت منفی او را ارتباط بدیم، انشاءالله که ما امو قدرت به خود پیدا میکنیم، قادر میشیم که از خودداری کنیم از انجام اون کار. خب دوستای عزیز، البته که معذرت میخوایم و صحبت آقای آژن بسیار خوب بود، بسیار مشکل بود که من اینا را قطع کنم که تلفن شما رو بگیریم، ولی این برنامه با پایان با وجود که امروز وقت برنامه با پایان رسیده، این تاپیک ما ادامه داره و چند دفعه بعد که باز هم آقای آژن وقت داشته باشه فشرده برنامه امروز میگیم و بعد از ادامه میتیم به صحبت ها و با معذرت زیاد که نتونستیم لاین تلفن بگیریم، ولی بعد از اینکه خداحافظی کنیم میتونیم که یک دو لاین بگیریم. آقای جان بسیار زیاد تشکر. بسیار صحبت خوب کردین، باز هم به جای من دوباره چارج شد که انشالله که دوباره یک ذره با انرژی تر میشم و در کارهای خود انشالله که پس یک ذره مثبت‌تر فکر میکنم.
بسیار تشکر بینندگان عزیز. I hope you apply this information that I've given you. It doesn't work unless you apply it. And last thing, feel free to contact Mariam John. Any questions? Thank you.
بله دوست عزیز، خب بسیار تشکر. خب دوستان عزیز و ارجمند، باز هم خوشحال هستم در برنامه شما عزیزا قرار داشتم. امیدوارم که از برنامه امروز مفاد خوبی گرفته باشین و باز هم 2 نوامبر و 9 نوامبر فراموش نشین که جنتریتان حتما باز نگه دارین که پروگرام‌های بسیار خوبی برای شما در انتظارتان است. و با تشکر مجدد از آقای آژن و از همکار عزیز نیلوفر جان، برنامه امروز به همینجا به پایان میرسونیم. تا هفته آینده خداوند یار و مددگار شما.
توانا بود ارکی دانا بود، ز دانش دل پیر برنا بود.